Shalom, shalom, goddammit! What a most exciting and educational night it has been about theater, about the Tonys, about Jews. I'm something of an expert on the latter, as I am, of course, Rabbi Sol Solomon, spiritual leader of Congregation Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And I'm very honored that Dave has asked me here tonight to make my own contribution to the WGBB Tony Award special show that this is. Dave is a wonderful person. I've appeared on his program. Dave has gone by 12 times. He's a mensch, a good friend. Of course, he doesn't have me on every week. Would be nice. Just 2 or 3 minutes. He has the whole hour. What would be the big whoop-de-doo to give the rabbi a couple of minutes to talk about life and belief and religious issues? But no, once a month, once every 6 weeks, that seems to be enough for him. I'm certainly not going to beg for more airtime. I'm not greedy. I'm not a microphone chazer. I don't have to be dragged on at the end of every show like Andy Rooney just to prove I can still chew my oatmeal. No, I'm abundantly grateful for the time Dave gives me, now and then, occasionally, when he sees fit, on his program. And although this toying with my emotions and my valuable time would appear to make him a miserably stingy, controlling son of a bitch, the truth is that Dave has lots of different things to balance on his show. And I'm just one of those things. Just one of many arbitrary, here today, forgotten tomorrow, useless, trivial elements of his vastly overrated radio program. What? Who am I to talk? Who am I to judge another person? No matter how heartless and unfair that son of a bitch bested may be, I take the high road. I rise above it, like sour cream on a bowl of stale borscht. And I thank Dave for letting me be a part of his special Tony Award show. Now, what the hell do you want me to do? Oh, yes, I'm here to discuss the category of Best Special Theatrical Event. Best Special Theatrical Event. Well, that is easy. The best special theatrical event this year was the birth of my daughter, Beryl. She was born to myself and my dear wife, Miriam Libby, 8 months premature. The doctors induced labor and took her out with an eyedropper. But she's fine. Blessings to Hashem. She's now 6 months old, still in an incubator but physically normal. 10 little fingers, 10 little toes, and 1 little intact hymen. And she is already reading Hebrew. Plus, I'm happy to announce that Miriam Libby is pregnant again with our 20th child in Yirtzeh Hashem. Her due date is in February, but we're hoping certain hormonal drugs will push that forward to late September so we can bring her to Florida before the frost. But, what? Oh, I'm being told that Dave really wants me to stick more literally to the theater and that the birth of my daughter, my bouncing baby Beryl, doesn't count as a special event? Well, excuse me, Mr. Big Shot Radio Person. I didn't realize a bunch of stupid awards took precedence over the miracle of life. Forgive me for not understanding that a bunch of actors reciting words they memorized is more astonishing than a drop of my spish turning into a person. But all right, I realize your own kids are always more interesting to you than they are to another person, especially if that person is a cold-hearted, self-centered lump of crap. But okay. Let's get to the category, shall we? Best Special Theatrical Event. And the Tony nominees are... Can I get a scroll roll, please? Billy Crystal, 700 Sundays. Dame Edna, Back with a Vengeance. Laugh Whore. And Whoopi, the 20th Anniversary Show. First of all, I'd give it to Laugh Whore just because it's the only one that doesn't have a goddamn subtitle. What is that? What the hell is the matter with one title? Why can't it just be Dame Edna? No, it has to be Dame Edna, Back with a Vengeance. Did anybody buying tickets walk up to the booth and say, hey, let me have 2 orchestra for Back with a Vengeance? No, they say, Dame Edna, let me have 2 for Dame Edna. Whoopi, the 20th Anniversary Show. As opposed to, what, Whoopi the Floor Wax? It's Whoopi, goddammit! You think people would confuse it with her other show, the original from 20 years ago? That would be a valid worry if it hadn't closed 2 decades back. You think people ordering from Telecharge got on the phone and said, yes, I want tickets for Whoopi Goldberg. What? Oh, wait, do I want the new one or do I want the first one? Well, the first one, that was better. Let me just construct a time machine so I can go back 2 decades and see that one. Especially since it's only $25 for orchestra seats back then. I don't have to rob a bank to see a goddamn Broadway show. That's why they put 2 titles on the thing. They gotta give you something for $80, $90 a ticket. The shows aren't any better, but the titles, oh, so much longer. $50 pays for light bulbs on the marquee. But let's get back to the category. Billy Crystal, Dame Edna, Mario Cantone for Laugh Whore, and Whoopi. 3 Jews and an eye tie. Well, that rules Cantone out. It was very funny. He did the Hitchcock thing with the nibbly-nobbly now, and the gay subtext of Steam Pipe Alley, as if that were obscure, and a really good Jim Morrison impersonation. But Mario Cantone overstayed his welcome, and he's a Shagitz, or a Gaygitz, actually, so no. Whoopi Goldberg, loved the name. It's Jewish and happy. 2 words that never go together in real life. And you know, a lot of people dumped on Whoopi because they said she was just bringing back her original show. It was more of a revival than a new thing. But I will defend her. More than half of her show was new material. It wasn't good new material, but it was fine. But it was all about gynecology, for Christ's sakes. Everything was my period this, and my vagina that, and menses, and bleeding. Half the show was about maxi-pads and meat curtains, Nishtuggerach. I heard so many eggs dropping in that matinee, they should have called a Chinese restaurant to make soup. And the women were eating it up. The show, not the soup. And the men were like, I wonder how the Jets are doing today. And Whoopi did the Fontaine thing, a lot of new lines there, and she did a crippled girl, but it just wasn't the same. For my money, Eve Ensler, who should be talking about vaginas, that's her specialty. I think she may even have one. And her show was better, a good body. That should have been on the list instead of Whoopi. But then there's Dame Edna, back with a vengeance. Nice Jewish boy, Barry Humphries, dressing up in women's clothes. Well, I have a cousin who, let's just say he uses his backside with a vengeance, if you know what I'm saying. No, but this was funny stuff, even better the first time, better than the first time. And it really knows how to work a crowd. But was it really different from Dame Edna's first trip over here a few years ago? Since half the show is improvisation anyway, it could just as well have been a continuation of the original show. He took a break of a few years, came back and picked up where he left off. Whereas Billy Crystal had never been on Broadway before. 700 Sundays was a new thing. Granted, he's been doing some of this material in comedy clubs for ages, but he weaved it all together here into a look at childhood and his father and growing up Jewish on Long Island. It was hilarious. It was touching. It was too long, but where would you cut? It was all so good, and audiences loved it. It sold out 15 years ago. It was so popular. People bought tickets before they were even born. Before their parents were born, people were buying tickets. So, if any categories are locked this year at the Tonys, it's Best Special Theatrical Event for 700 Sundays. It was so good, I wouldn't even trade it for 700 Saturdays. So, I want to thank Dave for giving me these precious moments on this Thursday to share with you. He told me 5 minutes. I've gone a bissel over time. What the hell, he owes me. But I do urge everybody to go to the theater. There is spiritual joy when people create something to entertain and enlighten their fellow men and women. And for the same reason we all go to shul instead of praying at home by ourselves. It's a communal endeavor, a way we connect with each other. The sharing of experience, the commingling of our laughter and tears, the standing half an hour and praying the garage attendant hasn't taken your car on a joyride through Koreatown. These are the things that make us human, that ennoble us as creatures of taste, empathy, and dignity. God damn it, this is Rabbi Sol Solomon, on behalf of my dear wife, Miriam Libby, and our 19 children, Nehemiah, Josiah, Shloimi, Chana, Rivki, Yehuda, Moish, Yechezkiel, Baruch, Avigdor, Yisroel, Hepzibah, Shaul, Aliza, Shimon, Gedalia, Naphtali, and Fred, by my first marriage, and baby Beryl, whose head, God willing, will eventually become round. I leave you on this exciting night with a Broadway-related poem. Ocean, Pillow Man, democracy, doubt. Who will win big and who'll be left out? spelling bee, scoundrel, Spamalot, Piazza, I wouldn't trade the Tonys for a solid gold matzah.